what if I promised to build 108 stupas and therefore gain more merit for the safety of His Majesty and all our men going with His Majesty, including our ambassador right there, General V. Namgyal. Dochula, a spiritual abode in Bhutan. I wrote that book to commemorate His Majesty, the fourth King's 60th birth year. Now, I did this not because I am his wife, but I did this to honor my king and to honor his service to our nation. I think everybody in this room are aware of who Jigme Singye Wangchuck, the fourth king, is and what he has done for this nation.
Your Majesty, this book is a book that every Bhutanese should have in their home. It is a true dedication. But also that I noticed, Your Majesty, that why did you choose Dochula?
Benji, that's a good question. I chose Dochula because first I chose the crest above Dochula. It's called Lunchuseka. And before His Majesty went into the operations, leading the operations, we were gripped, literally paralyzed by worry. So I walked up to a crest called Dochula, and there's a little temple there. And that temple was built by this great saint who prophesied the birth and the reign of His Majesty the King. And that's why I walked up there and I went there to bargain with all the good forces and all the good spirits, because His Majesty was going to war, and I bargained that I would rebuild this temple in Lunchuseka if His Majesty came home victorious, safe. And that's what I did. And then I walked down, Benji. Can I call you Benji? Because I can't call you anything else.
Yes. Your Majesty, I'm your servant.
So I walked down, and there was this mound in Dochula, just a mound, nothing. And in my youth, I used to cross that mound all the time, because in the days of my youth, there were no motor vehicles, there were no cars, we had to ride. So we used to cross that path, and we used to sit on that mound. And we used to make a wish, we used to make smoke offerings. And then as I returned, like I said, from the temple on the crest, and I walked on that mound, and it was absolutely filled with snow. And then I said, what if I bargained even further? What if I promised to build 108 stupas and therefore gain more merit for the safety of His Majesty and all our men going with His Majesty, including our ambassador right there, General V. Namgyal. So that's the reason I chose Dochula, because it's a crest that is very sacred, and it is believed that any wish that you make on that crest is fulfilled.
So this book, Your Majesty, is a payback to the deities?
Well, I think the payback came in the form that now, on that crest, we have 108 stupas. I have rebuilt the temple as I promised on the crest. And moreover, then a temple was built called the Druk Wangyal Lhakhang, whereby every year annual rituals are performed. And so I think more than a payback, I think is just, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all the protecting forces who have safeguarded the king and his men when it was most needed.
And then there's the Techu, Your Majesty.
Yes. Now, after the temple on the crest of the hill called Nochuse was built, and 108 stupas was built, and also the temple of Great Victory was built in Dochula, I felt that was important for future generations of our Bhutanese to know what this king had done for its people, its nation, to safeguard the security of the nation, because without security, you have nothing. So I decided to put in a festival, to create a festival, which Tashokarma Ura, I asked Tashokarma Ura to do it, and he went into great lengths in preparation. It took 2 years. And we had the support of IMTRAT too. And after 2 years, we had this, the festival of Dochula. And now this, the festival in Dochula, it's on the same day every year, the 13th of December every year. And in this festival is very different. It's different because no other festival like this was ever created. It goes to show, to honor the 3 acts. And the first is His Majesty actually serving the area. The second is the actual battle. And the third act is the victory, when he comes home safely with all the men. So this festival is being done by the Royal Bhutan Army, and it's an annual affair. So I really felt that it was very necessary to keep something going every year where everyone can enjoy the festival and know the deeds and acts of a king like no other, a king who was ready to sacrifice his very life in order to safeguard his land and his people.